Alright, this week I wanted to do something a little off the wall. I wanted to share with you one of the first concepts I came up with when I got this machine. I wanted to do something guitar related, but affordable, something that I can knock out a bunch of them during the day, sell them online or whatever. Never really got to that, I'm so busy, but it's something I still make. I made about 15 of these for the Amazing Jay to match his guitar collection. I had another client contact me. She needed 9 of them for her husband's guitar collection. And I made a couple dozen more and sold them at the flea market and stuff. And they always go pretty good. So this week I need to make 2 of them for my brother-in-law. I've been promising him for a while. I tried to do this last year, but the piece of stock I had a lot of voids in it, and it was a complete mess. The video was a complete fail, so I just shelved it. So I need to make the 2 of them. He has an Ibanez and a Peavey, which I have both of those headstock shapes on file. So we're going to be doing some carving here to start with, so why don't you hang around? No pun intended. So I got the machine in the home position. I got a bit loaded up like this. It's a 1/8" straight flute. It's pretty sharp. So I got one of those in there. So here's my screen. This is what easel's going to be putting out. As you can see there on the left is my design. Anything you see in white is the very top of the wood. The gray, as it gets darker, is a deeper cut. On the right there you can see that's an approximation of what this should look like when the 2 bits finish running. We'll start with the 1/8" bit, which will take a lot of the meat out of there, and then the detail bit, which will tighten everything up. So let's get going. Alright, so that's in the home position. I got 2 pieces of wood. I have a scrap piece of oak down below and the pine on the top, and that's equivalent to this. The round one here is equivalent to that bottom oak, and then this piece of scrap is equivalent to the thickness of the stair tread. So we bring our bit down to touch that. Alright, that is in its absolute home position. By using these 2 pieces of wood, I was able to get the correct height of where the top of this wood is. So the roughing bit is done. The Ibanez one doesn't look too bad. I got the start of a knot right here. The Peavey, I got some bad knottage here. But we're going to continue with it. And we're going to set up the detail bit. And we're going to run that through. That'll start putting, it'll go finish off this Ibanez. It'll clean up a lot of this. It'll clean up the nut. It'll clean up the first fret. It'll also put the hole placements for where we attach to the wall and where we attach the neck holder. So setting up now for the detail bit. Alright, my detail bit is complete. Doesn't look bad. Still don't have great hopes for that PV one. I might have to recarve it. So I'm going to load up the long 1/8 inch fluted bit, and we're going to start carving them out. Alright. So they are done. The Ibanez one came out really good. PV one, I'm probably going to have to do some filling here, but I think it's still usable. I cut these with tabs. I left little tabs here, and they're thin. I can cut those with the razor knife and get them out of here. So next step. I like to set these tabs up about 2 millimeters in height so that they're easy to kind of cut with an X-Acto. Let's sawdust from that knot. Anyway, they're a little dirty. Start using the X-Acto to get some of the little crud off here. Maybe the razor knife here. The major crud off of there before I go crazy sanding them. I want to set up my holes. The machine, X-Carve, just kind of kissed here where the holes are supposed to be. I'm going to start with, I think, the center holes like a pilot hole to go right through each of them. Alright, we're going to use this size for pilot hole. Kind of want to make sure I'm not punching out the back sides of these holes, so some scrap wood here to drill it in. And Milwaukee's unfortunately on the way out, I think. It's lived a hard life. Alright, got my pilot holes drilled. Next thing I want to do, set up my paddle bit. I want to paddle out for this captured nut here. Quarter. Quarter seems pretty good. We're going to put it in the center hole here, and don't need to go deep. So what I like to do for these top and bottom holes is actually fill them with plugs, and I usually color the plug the same color. So for instance, the top of the Ibanez is going to be black, so this plug will be black. I want to say my second plug here, I'm going to probably stain this a rosewood color to represent rosewood, so that'll be white to represent your first fret marker. Over here on the PV, it's going to be a natural color, so we'll have one there that's natural and one here that's black. So, and once you know, get it screwed on the wall, you plug those up, you're good to go. So I'm going to use my plug cutting bit to do these two for those plugs. The last hole I need to drill is of like a 5/16 to accept where the hook goes through. Another thing I want to do here is put in some strings where the nut, where the strings would be. Let's use a little file. Alright, those are sanded as I'm going to get them. I'm going to hit them down with clear coat, like a matte clear coat, just to seal the wood up a little bit before I start painting them. Now that that clear coat has had time to dry and they're nice and sealed, I'm going to start doing some painting on them. And I have some silver, some black, some brown, some golden brown, some vanilla, and some metallic gold. So I'm going to get busy on these. I think the first thing I want to do is the metallic gold. I want to paint inside the Ibanez here. I am going to be pouring it with a gold resin, but I think this would give it the best chance of standing out. So I'm going to do that first. I'm going to put that aside to dry for a little bit. And I want to work on this PV. It's a shame that I have all these knots here. You know, That looks awful. I'm going to try to hide them with some of this light golden brown and this vanilla. Mix of the two, I think. I just want to put a little yellow in this, like just a touch. Not even that much. That's probably enough. Doesn't look too bad. I don't know how that comes across on camera, but kind of disguises the knots a little bit. I think they'll kind of disappear a little bit when I get the clear on there, when I get the silver on the tuners. Try and give it a little faux wood look. Alright, let's put that aside to dry. Come back to avenues. I just want to do this top part black. It occurred to me that I think on his Ibanez it's a black nut, so I painted that black. Get a little brown here on the fretboard. Now I normally would have stained that, but I had sealed it, so tough to get stain in there after that. But I think I'm going to let that one dry. And that one's already starting to look dry. But maybe I'll do the nut here on this one. While I have the black and the white paint out, I also want to paint my plugs. I need 2 that are black and 1 that's white. So I put some double-sided tape down here on the palette, and hopefully this will hold it. Alright, so I'll have 1 black one here for the fret marker. I'll have 1 black one here on this headstock, and then the white one will sit here for this fret marker. And then when I'm clear coating the whole thing, I'll do 1 extra just in clear that goes right in that plug. So let these dry for a little bit and come back and do some more parts on them. So those paints have had time to dry. I just touched up a little bit of the black on that one. I can move on to the silver and really make these things pop and come together. Well, those dried up great. The acrylic paint leaves you a little matte finish, so I'm going to clear coat them. Before I did that, though, I did a little water slide decal, the PV there on the headstock. When I can get away with doing a decal, I will. I unfortunately don't have a printer that does white ink, so I couldn't do an Ibanez because it would just disappear because there's nothing to back it. So if it's on, you know, clear pine or something, or if it's a Fender, like a Strat or a Telecaster, yeah, little water slide decal works just fine. Print those up on the home computer. You can get the paper relatively cheap, and I'm glad that that one worked because the rest of them were kind of fading out here on the one I did. And once you print them up, you give them a little spritz with some clear coat to keep the ink from running once they get wet. And cut them out, get them wet, push them right on there. I use a little bit of this Tester's decal set, and that'll help it stick down a little more. It should be good as long as I don't play with it. And once that dries in about an hour or two, I can clear coat the whole thing. And alright, the clear coat on those dried. PV1 is pretty much done. The Ibanez one, I want to do a little pouring in here with some resin. That'll be gold color. So I got my part A and my part B of my Famawood glaze coat. And I got a pipette. And I'm going to mix these two for 6 minutes. And pour it into this clean cup. And do that for another 6 minutes. Then we're going to add in this gold color here. It's corn. And I got this yellow glow-in-the-dark pigment, which I'll throw in there too. Just a little dash. But it looks orange. But this is kind of neat. Let's see if I can get this to work. So it's like bright orange when you're hitting it with the black light. Then it turns yellow. And it kind of burns yellow. Kind of cool. That's mixed up. I want to put a little drop of acetone in here to thin this out, to run a little better when it goes into that Ibanez. Just a small amount. Like not even that much. Pour it in there perfectly. Use a little heat gun, get the bubbles out. Just real quick pass right over it. That poured in there really well. Didn't have to really do any cleanup. I thought I had a piece here, but it's just part of my clear coat. If I did have a dribble off the side, usually Q-tip with some rubbing alcohol on it, and that'll take it right off. Well, let's see what the black light does here mixed with the gold. Yeah, I mean, not too crazy, but that's kind of cool. So I'll let this dry overnight. I should be able to handle it tomorrow, but 2 full days to cure. And It is a little on the cold side here in the workshop this time of year, so it might take a little longer, but anyway, those are pretty much completely done with the finishes, and next I just got to attach the hooks. So that resin's had time to dry. That looks great, came out good. Last thing I need to do to these is on the original piece of wood they give you, there's a captured nut here, and I want to put that in. And first thing, just want to make sure all my tabs are kind of bent up so that they're going to point. I could hammer these in, but I don't want to ruin my finish that I put on there. I mean, it's not the best finish, but it's a finish. So I'm going to kind of line it up in the back here. And I have a screw and a washer that'll fit that pretty good. And I'll fire that down with my screw gun. Alright, both my nuts are captured. Let's see. So the idea is, you know, you hang this on the wall. There you go. See, it goes right on in there. So now I, you know, would mount these to the wall, and I got my my little plugs. You get a white plug here to represent a fret marker. I'll pound them in after I get this mounted on the wall. Black one up here to hide that. Black one here to represent that fret marker, and then just a plain one up here. So those don't look too bad, you know. I think the knot hiding up here worked pretty good. You know, you can't really tell. I probably could have sanded the tops a little better before I painted them and cleared them, but they're okay. You're not going to be up that close on them. So I guess the next thing I need to do is just hang them up. So that's how I make custom headstock guitar hangers on my X-Carve. These hangers themselves are inexpensive. Like I said, I think it was 15 bucks for a 3-pack, made by Top Stage. And they're pretty sturdy. The rubber is really protective on your neck and your headstock. You might see some out there that have like foamy things, and they kind of scissor in the center to get different widths. Don't get those. They're dangerous. Your guitar will fall right off. But these ones seem to be pretty sturdy. So I hope I gave you some good ideas here on what to do for a headstock hanger. Give me a thumbs up for filming it for you. And yeah, we'll talk again soon. Bye for now.